Good evening. My name is Amy DeBeck. It's my privilege and pleasure and honor to serve at UUFE. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am going to light a candle even though it's just fireside chat and not a whole service. We have lost one of our beloved community. This morning I received a text from Laura Barnes. She's one of Jim and Carolyn's kids, and she was letting me know that Carolyn died this morning. She was at home. She had Jim and their 4 kids around. I'm respecting their wishes to just be with family right now, so I haven't called yet. Last night when I checked in on the family, they knew that it would not be long, and they were all writing her obituary together. May we be ready to stand by Jim however he needs for us to support him. He reminds me every time we talk on the phone that when we can gather together again, whenever that is, that UUFE will be honoring, remembering, and celebrating Carolyn. And we will. Friends, we've passed the 1-month mark for being in quarantine. Oh, the things that we are getting used to. We're getting used to worshiping online. You can't imagine how many times we talked in worship arts about whether we should start streaming services. I guess that decision got made for us. We're also getting used to dropping things off with people and receiving things on our doorstep. Contactless delivery, it's called. But we still have those feelings inside of uncertainty, even though some things are becoming familiar. And then there's the grief. Fresh grief for Carolyn, persistent grief in other areas of life. I extend to you all love to everyone who is grieving the loss or illness of a loved one. Grief at the loss we feel of a job or an earned wage, even if it is just on furlough and there is hope of getting it back, it feels like a loss. Grief for the loss of health benefits, like going to the gym or the pool. Loss of experiencing travel, experiencing visits, getting to see our loved ones. Also, I know I'm not the only one who reads a lot of articles. I'm feeling profound grief, and I'm sure some of you are, at the number of people of color who die from COVID-19 at higher rates than whites. And so some of us are pre-grieving, imagining how are we going to change things around when we get out of quarantine. What we're sure of is that that social justice spark doesn't go away just because everything is in chaos. We are continuing to fill the food pantry and take care of our neighbors. Both Carolee Searles and Zanzer Anderson are making masks. All you have to do is ask. So many of you are learning Zoom. You know, when Kevin and I were first faced that first week with how are we going to do worship services, I could not imagine that we were all going to figure out Zoom. So we're doing it the way that we're doing it, where we piece it together and it's pre-recorded, and that will probably stay the same. There I go, Zanzer, touching my face again. So that's probably going to stay the same, and so many of you have gotten really good at taping, you know, a chalice lighting or a piece of music or a poem that you like. Please keep doing that, and please keep being brave and taking my cue on being imperfect but well connected. Make a video and share it. We're in Elkhart, not Hollywood. This Friday at noon, I'm hosting a church-wide check-in on Zoom. I'm at that point in my day where I've sent the email to Ron, but he may not have sent it to you all yet, or wait, I think it's a Caroline. I sent it to Peg. Anyway, the invite for the Zoom meeting with the link is embedded in that care line, and I'm not going to be publishing that on public pages because I don't want to get Zoom bombed. If you are a real person, you don't usually receive care lines, and you want to be in on the meeting, just send me a message and I'll send you the link. The last thing that I want to say about hacking and Zoom bomb and all that stuff is that I will never send a text or an email, even if it looks like my address. I will never ask you to send me gift cards or send me money. I will never do that. If there was some kind of church-wide gathering of support, it would not come in a text or email from me. And also, the IRS does not need your info to process a check that you'll be getting. So just remember that as we have more time at home, so do hackers. So don't give in to any of that. A couple more things. Each time the board meets, they vote on Volunteer of the Month. It gets announced in our newsletter, The Focus. Well, with all the hubbub of videos like this one going out and worship video going out, more times that we have to check our emails, all of these reasons, we kind of lost track of where we are with Volunteer of the Month being announced in The Focus, and we don't want to leave this out. So before the month of April is over, please make sure to send a friendly email or text or something to Emily Morrison, because she was applauded as March's Volunteer of the Month, and we need to talk about how much the plants love Emily, and so do we. The new volunteer for the month of for the month of May, decided at the April board meeting, is Judy Darnell. There are so many people doing great things that it was pretty hard to pick. But when we looked at what we have been accomplishing as a fellowship during quarantine, we really thought that feeding our neighbors has probably been the best, most innovative part of what we've been doing. And I recalled, I hope some of you do, that the first person to do that, the first person to fill up that little library with food, was Judy Darnell. So thank you for helping us all be more helpful, Judy. The last thing that I want to touch on in this fireside chat is a musing that I knew I was going to do right away Sunday afternoon. I looked at Kevin and said, whenever we shoot the fireside chat, this is what I want to talk about. It's the importance of gatherings and community. And I've really just been moving us forward and not worrying about that we can't gather, and thinking of alternative ways. And on Sunday, it just really got brought home for me how important it is. Each week, I'm on the Main Street Civic Plaza for an hour or less, depending on weather, trying to bring attention to the fact that our government has concentration camps on our southern border. It's immoral. It's terrible. We should close the camps. My sign says, close the camps. Usually I'm not alone. Most of the time I've got at least one or two other people with me, and their signs say families belong together and no kids in cages. When we're together, in community, in a gathering, it's clear why we're there. This last Sunday, as often it has happened since July, it was just me, and I was holding my sign, close the camps. Nearly every week, somebody asks me which camps, and every time I wonder, what camps could they be thinking about? Like, we're trying to close the Pray Away the Gay camps? Yeah, we would do that. Like, what kind of camps are they thinking of? Well, finally, a man told me that there are some folks in Elkhart who pitch tents, try to make it through this life in quarantine and before, and that they are often run out of the encampments. I literally felt sick to my stomach that my do-gooder action regarding refugee kids had been interpreted as not just turning a blind eye to poverty and homelessness in my own town, but wishing I didn't have to see it. I get it. The minute he told us how my sign is understood, I apologized and we left. I will be re-lettering it, and I'll be back out there next week so that even when I am by myself, people who are struggling to make it in tents in Elkhart will not think that I'm trying to undo them. Social justice is something that we're always going to be able to work on, because helping somebody always takes us down a deeper path than we expect. The last suggestion that I want to end with is that, friends, this weekend is Earth Day. It also would have been our potluck. So I hope that maybe in preparation for watching the service or being with us in the service, I hope that maybe you'll eat something while you're watching it. I hope that maybe you'll make whatever you would have normally made. Probably you won't need as much, so you could freeze some. Or you could, text a neighbor and deliver it to them, contactless delivery on their doorstep. However you choose to note Earth Day, however you choose to spend your Sunday, I hope that you will gather with somebody to stay physically distant and socially connected. I'll see you on Friday on Zoom. And until we meet again, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. We're all struggling, we're all imperfect, and we are all the beloved community. Blessed be, and amen.